Testing audio. Testing audio. Okay. Just messing around, seeing what combos I can do here. I like mostly the old ambassador stuff, but the pylons and nacelles on the newer ones look pretty nice. Let's do this for now. Gotta go level this thing up. Not sure how I feel about the bridge officer layout on this ship. It's, you can either get that Lieutenant Commander Universal, put it as engineer so you can run this a bit tanky, or you can run it as attack so you can actually run tack abilities. There's just not really much room to choose here. I'm gonna go with the Lieutenant Commander as a tack because otherwise I just don't have enough room for the abilities I need to slot. a very hard ship to try and figure out. It's like, just looking at the ship, we knew looking at the stats page that this wasn't going to be the best ship ever. But I mean, it can perform decent. It can handle, you know, any normal or advanced content in the game, but there's no way I would take this into an elite. Especially something like Corfez, because you're stuck to a beam build on this ship, and beams just don't cut it in the high level content like that. Okay, I think that's most of the trade. Just checking traits and offs now. Then let's hope the trade is worth it. The trait, like, if I go and look at this here, so it's 30% Cat 1 all damage, 30% whole regen, and a 30% HP bump. And then, if you're running Threatening Stance, it's 300% threat gen. The people that want to look at this trait, the only people that I honestly see wanting to even run it are people that are running threat tanks. Like, if you're just doing a standard DPS build, you have no use for this trait. You also have to factor in, if you're going into PvE queues, if there's 30 enemies that are going to shoot you. Because there are some queues where you do not have that many enemies. I got an endeavor to go do Romulan Red Alert. I may as well get that done first. Because I gotta farm a bunch of red alerts to, not red alerts, system patrols to level this thing up. Now the ship also has an interesting console on it. It's got a 2-minute cooldown, but it basically marks a target, and if the target's alive the entire 15 seconds, you'll have the weapon firing speed haste buff and all this other nice stuff for up to 15 seconds. Now the issue is, it's a mark on a target, a single target, and if that target dies before the 15 seconds is up, you're screwed. So that is certainly an issue with that console. Also, hopefully this mic doesn't sound too bad. I'm using my old secondary mic. I'm just gonna do this one once, then head over to Argala. Game's a bit loud to me, so I'm gonna turn the volume down a bit. But like I was saying before, this is a decent ship. It's a, it's just another 4-4 cruiser. It's not gonna beat most of the other 4-4 cruisers out there due to the layout on it. It's got a really bad bridge officer layout. You're forced to either run just the ensign and tack, or ensign and lieutenant tack, and then run the lieutenant commander uni as an Eng, or I don't know. It's just a really rough setup to the setup. You're forced to either go engineer light or tack light. mean, I don't think there's really much use for the Lieutenant Commander Science, and that's just more of a current meta thing. If you're not running a dedicated EPG or Drain build, you just don't have much use of most of the science stuff. I forgot to set my weapon power. Off to a good start today. Two down, one to go. The trait is useful if you're like a dedicated tank. If you're just doing a standard DPS build, there's better traits for you. I haven't messed with the Klingon one yet. I picked these ships up last night before heading out to my class and stuff, and this is the first time I've messed with these ships at all. Hello, Pixel. But I'll look at the trade again here. So 30% Cat 1, well, it's not even guaranteed. It's up to. You have to have 30 things hit you in a map in order to get the full benefit of this trait. 30 targets have to hit you, which just isn't even going to happen in most queues. And then that's 30% Cat 1 all damage, so that's less than attack console. 30% whole regen. 30% max HP, and then if you're running Threatening Stance, plus 300% threat gen. That's where this trait comes in handy, is the threat gen. It's hard to say with Corfez. You'd have to actually try it in there because, like, I believe technically Corfez is all the same map. Now I've head to Argala so I can actually get this thing leveled up fast. The gem carrier, nah, I haven't messed with that yet at all. So I'm getting there. Like another 3 or 4 Argalas and I've got this leveled up. Yeah, the ship looks good. It's just, if you're putting money into the game and you're wanting something that's, you know, going to perform or has a nice trait, there's better options. Should have had single cannon set up on this character. Single cannons would be allowing me to do a little bit more with this. To have a side team on here for the Hirogen. Or just warp so I don't get Hirogen. Because I've got the Torp on right now. That's why I don't have a cannon ability on. Yeah, the TAC consoles. Yeah, before I head into this next one, I'm gonna drop the Torp, because the Torp, I'm not getting in a firing arc to fire it most of the time anyways. And it's just not really doing much for me here. So I'm running 3 of the Colony TAC consoles right now. And to replace the Torp, let's see. There we go. Okay, got the trait. No need to finish this. Okay, so I'm gonna slot this trait and go into an ISA with it. I'm gonna slot a little bit more survivability. So that's why I haven't leveled up most of my Jem'Hadar ships. I was going to during that first like XP event we had after Victory's Life. But I just never got around to it. It's a combination of not wanting to work on a character that I don't have geared up and me being lazy. Pretty much it. Yeah, the warship's the only one I've gotten unlocked so far. I'm at this rate I may never get the others unlocked. Okay. So I am at 30 stacks of that, so I'm at 182,000 HP. It's not too bad. So I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when I was at the left side, it spiked at like 170. The console on this, if you hit it on a boss, it's certainly helping with the burst. But if you go in with any high-end cannon build, you're gonna kill it in well within that 15 seconds. But that's really nice for burst. I mean, if this were in like a really proper, DPS 3-2 run, you'd get over 200 out of this ship, but that's true for pretty much any ship now. That's why 3-2s and ISA are not the best benchmark anymore at the high end. The gem thing. Okay, so the Raider, Jem'Hadar Raider, I haven't used it. So, just nothing I could say about it. If I recall from talking to other people that had messed with it, it wasn't anything that replaced any of the existing heavy weapons we use. Also, I like that these persist with you the entire time you're on the map, so I still have them. Between that and the prototype of Blade of Jevonite I have on, I'm sitting here resting at 146,000 HP. So that's a pretty decent amount. And something else, I know there's already people that have over 300,000 HP. I've seen people post pictures and stuff of it where they're over 300,000 HP on like a PvP tank or healer. You can get some pretty crazy numbers nowadays. And a bad Endeavor box. Only good thing out of it was the 50 marks. Anyone got any, like, questions or anything about this ship? Also, just to go back to it, so that's plus 30%, but I think it's, I don't remember how the HP stuff works exactly. I think there's like some different categories there, I don't remember. But the 30% from that trait took me from 125.9 to basically 146 with all 30 stacks. So basically an additional 20k. That's not bad. Could be better, but it's not bad. Can you do good DPS with the turret build? Yeah, because it's cannons. You can buff the cannon stuff up pretty well. I mean, if a mine build can break 100k, a turret build can. I have not looked at that at all. Thank you for the follow. Let's see. I don't even remember the KDF1 stats. I have to look at the stats blog. Just bear with me for a minute. Lieutenant Tactical, Lieutenant Commander Tactical, Commander Engineer / Temporal, Ensign Universal, Lieutenant Commander Universal. Oh yeah, that's much better than the one we were just looking at on the Fed side. It's much better. Though I don't have the stuff to put on this character right now, that's something I'll have to mess with in the future. This character isn't set up for pretty much anything right now. Well, I'm here just making sure there's nothing else for me to slot. Yeah, it's the KDF one seems much better than the Fed one for like DPS stuff. The only downside is it's still 4-4. I need to sell a ship so I can gamble some more. I'm just looking to see what the best deal is. Hello? I'm just posting the ship here. I want to get some more keys, gamble a little bit more here today. Yeah, I just finished leveling it up. Just ran an ISA with it. Yeah, it looks really nice. They had taken them out due to some issue with it giving you like a discount on the fleet version if you didn't own them, and if you did own them, it didn't give you the discount. It was some really weird issue there. But thought they had fixed that. My bank is full of, well, it depends on the character. I wish a lot of this stuff was account bound instead of character. It did make my life so much easier. And I wish we had more account bank slots. That would be very, very nice. Oh, there's a new dev blog. It's just a story one though, so nothing too important. I can't. I cannot buy the starter pack. I am locked out of it due to being at the character cap that is available to me. The only way for me to increase my character cap is to buy the lifetime, which I don't really feel like spending 200 bucks on the game. Not at this state of the game. If I wanted to get the lifetime, I should have bought it way back in the day. Now the game is just too dead. I can't even grab the fleet version of this shit. I need to find where ship modules are. But they're on this one. Yep. Yeah, what's annoying about not being able to buy the starter pack is it'll let you bypass the account bank limit because it's limited to 12 rows. You can get 14 if you can get the elite starter pack. I'm not talking about like individual slots, I'm talking about rows. 20 total slots, so 12 rows. If you get the elite starter pack and you also have a subscription and you've got this all maxed out, it gives you 2 more rows to take it to 14 total for 140 total slots. Rows can be resized with most things except the account bank. So, like, you can resize the character window, you know, and make that different, but this account bank, it's always 10 per row. It's just how it's always been for the account bank. Let's give this Herc console a shot again. Now I need to go level this ship up after I set it up. So now to do everything I just did, leveling up the ship all over again for the fleet version. Yes, or what would be really nice is if you could just, level up the C-Store ship, and when you buy the fleet version, if you've already leveled up the C-Store one, it just comes already leveled up. It's very repetitive to need to go and level up a ship twice on one character, let alone if you're doing it on multiple. It's just not fun. I had TS1 on instead of the TAC team. Yeah, I just swapped it out. I mean, it doesn't take me long to level up a ship. It's just a matter of, if I'm doing this on a bunch of different characters and I'm paying, how much for the ship and then the fleet ship on each of the characters I wanted on, it's just little quality of life feature that they could have. You on an engineer would want to use crit D / damage, then you would probably want to go with crit D ×4. On an engineer, you just can't stack up all of the damage buffs like you can on attack. That's where attacks have such an advantage. Attacks can just go in, stack up a bunch of damage buffs, use damage, max out the damage mods on a weapon, because the damage modifier comes in after every one of those buffs that they have. Just looking at your comment pixels. So that's the issue. It's the devs, you would think that they listen on some things, but we've had some recent examples where it's very obvious that some of them just aren't paying attention to, what people in the community are saying. Which, I partially don't blame them because, like with most communities, there's a lot of idiots in the community. But like Bordicus was just saying just now that they're thinking or possibly looking into doing separate space and ground specializations because of the random task force operations. That is something that has popped up repeatedly as something people for how long, and they're just now looking into it. It's like they just got the idea to look into it. Will misfired? No, I got subject. I'm saying it's something that they've, that there's been complaints about for the last how many years, and they're now just thinking about doing something about it due to the random task force operations. Yeah, it's something they may have, someone there has likely brought up in the past, but that's been a major quality of life issue that has certainly impacted people from playing some content, because you go into something on the ground and you're stuck with your space specs. You can do ground content with your space specs, but people, if they're going into something, they want to have their specs on for that content. It's, other games don't have issues like that. It's this game just, it's one of those areas where it's fallen behind a bit. Same for having multiple skill trees. not far. Well, Pixel, they've already sort of started going in a direction with that with the breach event. You know how you could spend, what was like $8 or $10 to buy 10 of the things instead of, you know, running it 14 times. So that's a good start on something like that. There's multiple things that they can make a nice chunk of money off of with this game. Well, I like that we're about to have a bunch of free respec tokens from getting tier 6 reps. Well, that or fleet ship modules. I'll go for the respec tokens myself. You can buy the fleet ship modules cheap off the exchange, but you can't buy respecs off the exchange. Though that would be very nice if you could. I just realized who the Lariana guy was that was in here. That was the guy that was arguing with me the other day. Like, just going off about how DPSers give bad advice. Oh boy. What shield do I have on it? It's competitive reputation fortified variant. So it gives the max HP. When I run a competitive shield, I always run the max HP version. Due to, if you're being shot at, you're going to need that extra HP. And what it helps with also is the DPRM and the Proto Matter. These things, when you have those active, those are healing based off of your whole regen, and the whole regen scales off of how much HP you have at the time. So having more HP when you're being shot at is always a great thing. I also need to disable visuals on it. It's not the worst visual ever, it's just not what I want on. $13 million. Yeah, I could see it being a bit for most. Hopefully prices on the fleet ship modules come down though with the free ones coming via the rep. I guess another ISA now that I've got the fleet one done. Yeah. I'm in the queue for it now. There's only one other person right now. So if you want to hop in, it's ISA public queue. Come on in and out DPS me. Which won't be hard with me doing this and this ship. So I need to go out and find like a good deal on a new video editing software. In the past, up until the middle of last month, I was using the Adobe Premiere. I had the Creative Cloud student deal because I needed it for class a while back, so I had that going for a year. But that is gone and I'm not gonna pay what it cost. So oh yeah, there's a lot of really nice. One I need to pick up here at some point is the colony one. I know a lot of the PvP science players are now using that Lucari ship. Okay, here we go. As I overshoot everything. Oh, it's all good. It's the competitive shield. Competitive, what is it? Fortified. So it's the one with the max HP. Reason for the max HP is just it helps with survivability. It buffs up how much the DPRM and the Protomatter are giving you if it's active while you hit those. And yeah, it's the Creative Cloud. Like, it was $240 for the first year, and for the second year, if I want to renew it, it would be $30 a month, so $360 for the year, which is just that's just too much for me. Especially when I'm only really using Premiere and After Effects. So I'll just look for some alternative. I might still have a copy of Sony Vegas around somewhere. I just gotta figure out what drive that's on. And I was looking, there's a deal on Humble Bundle for Magic's bundle, a bunch of stuff, but I was looking around and apparently that's full of adware. There's other things that can do much. But like, I'm just gonna quickly go over like review just specifically the Federation ship here. So for the Federation one, you know, it's just another standard 4-4 cruiser. There's nothing really special about it that makes it better than any of the other Fed cruisers. The trade-off of it's good for tanks, and the console good for burst. That's about it. Very quick review of the ship. It looks good though. The Ambassador always looked really nice. This is the original version and the new one they have. Yeah, you know, that is something too tempting. Like, cancel it, try to get for the starter price again. But even then, 240 bucks when I'm only using 2 of the applications every now and then. It's just too much. There's got to be an alternative out there that'll work for me. And also, like, I know it's not about the money or anything. You know, I don't do this stuff for the money. But like with Premiere and all that, you know, after I got done with my classes, you know, that I only needed those for a few months. The applications I needed there, and that was for Dreamweaver and stuff. But I was spending $20 a month, and like it ended up coming down to, like, you know, doing the YouTube videos. Even with the ads, you don't make much off the ads. It was to the point where I was still paying to make the videos. Like, it was actual money on top of the time. Just annoyed me a little. So, we should be having the Infinity rerun here, I'm gonna guess, within the next 3 to 4 weeks. I'm expecting the Agents of Discovery to come out mid to late October. So, Crossfield, Sarcophagus, those are gonna come down price-wise. And when they do it, they'll both be in a new package. Like a new wrapper on the exchange. So all these old listings are going to go up in price, and then you're going to have the cheap new version, which people will not go and look for because they'll keep looking for these old ones. Has anyone got any final questions or anything like about the ship? For the Fed one, at least. I'm not going to go through and set up the KDF one because I just don't currently have a KDF character set up for endgame content at a high level. All good, Elworld. So I understand how frustrating that can be. Like, if we're talking about the performance of the ship, yeah, it's mediocre for the performance of the ship. The trait, most people aren't going to take advantage of the trait. The trait is just valuable really for the tank builds out there because it's got a really nice amount of threat generation on it, 300%, up to 300%. And then the console, so I think the console has a good idea behind it. The issue is it's not guaranteed to be the full duration. It's 15 seconds maximum, and it's a mark on target. So if your target dies before the 15 seconds is up, then you lose the rest of the buff, and you're stuck with it on a 2-minute cooldown. I'd like to see the console have, you know, like a 60 to 90-second cooldown, but I understand that they've got it at 2 minutes to keep it balanced with like every other console out there. So you're either buying this ship for the trade if you're a threat tank, or because you like the visual aspect of it. It's basically it. And the KDF version of the ship seems much better. It's a 4-4 Vengeance. To the Vengeance is, you know, the Vengeance, outside of it having a good bridge officer layout, it's a 5-3 ship that can run cannons. It being able to run cannons is what makes it such a good thing right now. If it could not run cannons, it would not be a meta ship. Like if you couldn't do a setup like this on it, there'd be no point to the Vengeance as a DPS ship. Okay, can load cannons, okay. So I mean 4-4, you're just stuck with an extra turret versus another cannon. Trying to think too, like top performing KDF ship. If we're going for pure KDF, The D7 is still really good. It's not as good as it once was, but the D7's still really high up there. The D4X is amazing. And outside of that, I can't think of any other KDF exclusive ships. Play the Sona Collector. The Sona Collector is amazing. The best promo ship in the game, in my opinion. It is the most unique feeling. And everything is on cooldown on it. Literally everything. How do I not have more of the duty officers? What's going on? Let's do a classical CCA. It's not too much I can do with an exotic build though right now. Oh. Yeah, I've heard a few say that. But they got that mixed up there. Thinking it was the Bajorian solar sail ship or whatever. This will be the last thing I do on stream for today. I need to head out and put some money in the bank. If anyone wants to join, it's CCA public queue. like, when it's like this, it doesn't feel too bad. But when you've got the wings open, then it's heavy. Like, when you've got the sails out and all that, it's very hard to turn. When I turn the sails on, it's really bad though. Oh no. So let me just go show that in DS9 quick. Just like, I'm gonna fully hold down A or D and turn to a certain side, and then I'll hit the thing and you can just see the instant drop again. Okay. So this is, you know, just full turn, normal. Then I hit this, and it just slows down to like 10% of what it was. Turn rate for a second. Now if I deactivate that, 16.2. Yeah, so it, no matter what, it locks your turn rate to 4. Okay, I'll deploy them and check. So the competitive engines, I've got, yeah, heal 1 on. It doesn't help at all with the turn rate, just the speed. Yeah, no matter what, while these wings are out, or the collectors, you are locked at 4. Ain't nothing helping you. It's so dark on this map you can't even see the things going back in. What's nice is you can sometimes push people with this. Like, you can just troll them a bit or something. Like, the competitive shield is always a solid choice. With shields right now, it's really up to you. So many different shields work. It's really personal preference, because unless you're doing specific builds, you're usually not going to have a 2 or 3 piece set on in most things right now, because you're going to be running different pieces. Like the fleet core is generally the best, a fleet spire one. The fleet colony deflectors, the best in slot. The competitive engines, the heal variant or the firing cycle variant, are the best engines you can use. And then the shield, I mean, you could do the competitive 2-piece, but the 2-piece buffs aren't really that amazing. Yep, it pushed people there a little. So it really is personal preference. Okay, but that wraps up things for today, unless anyone has any final questions. Guess not. Okay, so thank you guys for tuning in. I'll probably stream again next Friday, but for now I am going to hop off and head out, get some stuff done. So I'll see you all around, and if there's any more questions, just ask on Discord or something. And I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching.